Silksong has been amazing so far, and the challenge is really starting to ramp up. But that's okay though, because we're in this together, and I've prepared even more tips for anyone trying to have a better time in Silksong. There will be no major spoilers in this video, but as requested, I am going to show the full pathing to one of the early abilities that you can find. And this one is essential, guys. I think you really want to stay tuned to see how to get this ability. Before we start, I am contractually obligated to ask that everyone give the video a like, hit subscribe, and please, for the love of God, pick up my father at his work. He needs a ride all this week, and I'm like, Dad, Silksong, and he's like understandably confused, but like I am not picking him up. Alright, so to start, I'm going to add on to something from the previous video. Be sure to check that one out if you want to see more strats. By the way, there's some pretty good stuff in there. Alright, our first tip is going to be about jumps. Well, jump cancels really. Have you noticed that you jump higher when you hold the button, and then tapping the button gives you a really short hop? So by pressing attack a second after you jump, it lets you cancel the jump into a very fast attack. This is an essential combat technique once you've grown comfortable with the flow of the game. Also, did you know that you can just hop over this lava? Our next tip is more of a knowledge check, but if you've been confused by either of these flowers, you are not alone. But remember that our jumping down plus attack move causes a nice little bounce when it makes contact. And now you see the vision. Something I didn't really mention too much in the first video that's actually kind of huge early game is to do your quests. Be sure to check the quest board frequently and work towards completing them as soon as you can. The rewards you get from these is usually pretty sweet, and early on it can be all the difference in helping you get powered up quickly. I'm going to show a couple of quick and easy quests that you can follow along with at the end of the video, but for now I'll just show you the rewards you get for these two in particular. First is this Flea brew. Drinking this stuff speeds you up for a brief amount of time. I like using this when paired with the Reaper Crest because in the Reaper Crest you get slower but more powerful attacks. And now when you drink this, they become slightly faster, powerful attacks. It's pretty nice. The next quest reward power-up we can get requires a bit more legwork, but it can mean the difference between life and death. Plasmium is an elixir that will give you extra health. In the previous video, I showed you how to find your first 4 mask fragments for the health upgrade, and now I'm helping all of our tank build friends stack that HP. So I mentioned that this one takes a bit more legwork, and that is true. You'll need a couple of upgrades to reach the NPC that holds your sweet plasmium. But first, you should buy the key to Wormways from the original shopkeeper. On top of getting new tools, Wormways is also connected to some pretty cool areas that you'll be able to discover once you make your way through it. Another purchase that you should consider making early on, especially if you're looking to get stronger, is this crafting kit from the blacksmith. This will level up your gear more and more throughout your playthrough, so I think it's one of the better items to purchase early on. But all of these items are pretty expensive, so I'm going to share my quick early game rosary farming spot with you. You can follow this path for a full loop, go right back to the bench for a reset. I was able to get a few hundred beads in a pretty short amount of time. There's also a fast travel nearby, so it's pretty quick to visit this place when you're running low on rosaries. And finally, our last tip, inspired by a comment on the previous Silksong video actually, is taunting. Commenter wasn't sure what this was, but to me it looks like a taunt. By pressing R3, you can spend some silk and do a taunt. Now from my brief testing, I found that it can attract enemies to you, kind of. However, I didn't notice any change in attack power like some people had suggested. So more testing is needed, and if you know, please share in the comments. Until then, you can enjoy styling on your enemies even more with this taunt. And that pretty much does it for this Silksong tips video. Like I mentioned earlier, I am going to end the video now with the solutions to the Flea brew and Plasmium quests, as well as the full path to Swift Step, my favorite ability in the game, bar none. Seriously, get it? If you guys have any other cool strats or general Silksong advice, leave it in the comments, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.